Mettu. International Vice President Mettu. Yeah. We would like to honor all our executive team. All the way came from Seattle and different locations of United States. So it's our honor to felicitate them.
That's our Executive Vice President, Mr. TLN Reddy. Thank you. That's Mr. Pradeep Mettu. Thank you for coming here, please.
And then we want to celebrate the Women's Day. Then we said, hey, this is an amazing event, and then from our leadership team, they always give the priority to the women. And then we said, as an executive team, let's go to Houston, let's cheer them out, right? So we are here for you to appreciate the women, to celebrate, and then we say that we give a lot of importance for the women in our organization. So just give a little background about our organization. I'm from Seattle, Washington, the other corner of the United States. And this organization is founded by Dr. Pailamala Reddy Garu. He's a well-known person in the Indian community. He's from Long Island, New York. And then we have an advisory leadership team, and followed by executive team. My team came from different places. Our Vice President, President-elect Naveen Garu, he came from Charlotte, and then our Executive Vice President came from Philadelphia, and our National Coordinator Pradeep came from Seattle, and then Manikyam also came from Seattle. So, I would like to thank DP and then DP Garu and team for pulling this an amazing event and bringing all the women together. And I also would like to thank our women leadership, Jyoti Garu, Uma Garu, Prema Garu. Thank you very much being there in TTA. We want more women in the team. You need to pull at least half of this room into your TTA. Thank you. And I would like to say thanks to all the honorable guests here. It's amazing to see. I was actually texting my daughter. You should have come to. I have a daughter who is a 15-year-old 9th grader. And it's amazing to see the women sitting here from a different fields, from judicial system, from a city council, from a college professors, and then from a musical academy, and judges, right? Very, very inspiring, all of you. Thank you very much, ma'am, every one of you. Happy Women's Day to all of you, and thank you for coming for our organization. It's definitely inspiring to all of you, to see all of you. So just wanted to say a few words, like how our leadership talks about involving the women in the organization, and then the way we kind of organize the events also. If you see, for this Women's Day, we have ran at least 15 different programs across the United States talking about the equality and equity, and how we can empower the women, and not just the women but for the girl child. Right, we are also talking about how not just the women talking about women empowerment, but how the men can support, like he for she movement. It started by Indian government, like so that the equity of women can happen in a faster pace. Right, so we from a TTA, Telangana American Telugu Association, do a lot of community services work, and we help back home, like with the Save Girl Child, and a few other initiatives related to women empowerment and women's health. And then we do events on the breast cancer awareness, Mother's Day we celebrate. But we just wanted to reinforce that we are very proud of all the work women has been doing. From the, as Arun rightly mentioned, from mother taking a birth of a kid, and then we have a friend who accompanies us, and then we have a wife who takes care about us, and then the daughter. So there's so many roles you play as a woman, and then the multitasking what you guys do. There's a very less opportunities we get to appreciate what you do. From our bottom of our hearts, we would like to thank you for all that you do. And once again, I would like to say Happy Women's Day. And Houston team, amazing job. Thank you very much. This is a very unique event you're pulling together. Not just celebrating other event, but celebrating women is what we can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President Vamshi Reddy. So thanks for your kind words. And you saw all this event, right? So without our team effort, we cannot do this. So we have fantastic rocking team. First, our ladies first. Our TTA Women Chair, Jyoti Reddy Garu, please come here. Music. Prema Garu, Uma Garu, Arun, Hari, Charuku, Lakshman, Rajesh, Mettu, Ramraju. Look at them. This is our awesome team. Beautiful. Rocking. Give a big round of applause to our team. Thank you everyone. Thanks to our team. Let's take a picture.
Happy International Women's Day, and I echo Vamshi, pretty much he covered everything, and I don't want to take too much time. And thanks to Houston team, it's wonderful, very well organized, and DP, Arun, Uma, Jyoti and Prema, it's very well organized and it's very good. Thank you, and we want to come back again and let's celebrate. Happy Women's Day, and thanks to the speakers, guests, everybody. Enjoy the party.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bangkok. Before coming to Houston, she was part of the Indian consulate at Cape Town, the Cape of Good Hope. Thank you.
everyone. It's wonderful to be here and thanks for inviting me here. And heartiest greetings on the occasion of Women's Day. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Good evening, everyone. And heartiest greetings on the occasion of Women's Day. And I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So I just want to say a few words. Today, women have proved their mettle in all spheres of life, and she does not shy to take up new challenges. In spite of all these things, we are also multitasking, like it was said before, and I think that's quite a job we are doing. And she still manages to fulfill her task at home through her wisdom and her resilience. So, heartiest greetings to all of you in all your endeavors and best wishes for a bright future. Thank you very much.
She's an endowed professor in pulmonology, critical care and sleep at the Baylor College of Medicine. When I was actually going through her resume was like 60 pages. The awards that she got were like 3 pages, just the awards. And one of my favorites was her TED Talk that she recently did a few years ago in Sugar Land. And she was also honored with the Presidents of India Award for the best non-resident Indian living outside India. It's an honor for having Dr. Kalkulata ji here amongst us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Request you to please speak a few words for you. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Premaga.
Thank you for inviting me. In 1974, I landed in USA with a medical diploma in one hand and $8 in the other hand. That's all they would allow us to take out. And when I landed here, I did not know before, but I realized that I had 6 strikes against me as I went through. One was I was a non-citizen, an international medical graduate. They used to call us foreign medical graduates in those days. A woman of color, a married woman in the reproductive age, and a very vertically challenged woman. I'm only 5 feet tall, which was average height in India, but it was a challenge here. But what became apparent, probably more apparent now than then, were 3 other strikes, which I did not know. One was a glass ceiling, which you had to really you didn't know it until you hit it. Second one was really a sticky floor where you couldn't even fly to reach the ceiling. And the third one was you had to watch some people take the glass escalator. They were just passing you by. So with those 9 strikes, I could manage my career, raise a family, and married to the same man for 50 years. And which probably is not a big deal in India. If you live long enough, you will be married as long as you live to the same man. In professional life, I'm a professor. I was the chief of a section for many years that had 200 employees and 50 faculty. I still work full-time doing night calls like any of my junior colleagues. I managed during COVID. I managed the ICUs and the expansion and all of those during COVID. And I was the first woman president of American Association of Physicians of Indian origin, a 70,000 largest ethnic group of physicians. I was the first woman president. I was the 13th president of API. When I was in 13 years, I was the first woman president, but the same year, Dr. Nancy Dickey, she was the first woman president of AMA in 150 years. So you know how much recognition the women have in the Indian community. I also became 10 years later the first woman president who was a foreign medical graduate of my professional pulmonary critical care organization of 20,000 members in 90 countries. I have published extensively with 170 publications. I've had grants. Life has been kind to me by giving me a lot of recognitions. But I have to tell you, I have to ask your indulgence of 1 or 2 minutes to tell you where my inspiration comes from and where my motivation comes from, where my ambitiousness comes from. My mother and father were married like in those days when they were teenagers. And my mother, after marriage, my father taught alphabet to my mother, his teenage bride. And he said he will leave her if she doesn't go to school or study. And my grandmother was very upset with him, my mother's mother, saying that, what is this, even men don't go to college or study. But anyway, my mother studied and she raised 5 children. I'm youngest of the 5 children spread over 14 years. And we have 4 daughters and 1 son. Son is the oldest. And my mother studied, she did her master's in mathematics and Telugu literature. And both of my parents were teachers. And my mother, in fact, her master's she finished when I was in medical school. So we were all studying and we were upset that she was studying too, So she retired as a high school principal. So if she could do that and my father could do in the days of the Nizam in 1930s, insist my mother go to Nizam College, a co-education college, I have to do something better than that. How can I do something and claim to be their doctor? And in one generation, all 5 of us became physicians, and I'm the only one here, but we all became physicians and made it in life. When I came here, actually, I must say that having seen most of the developed world, I traveled extensively for various organizations to more than 40 countries. And I can confidently say, having seen most of the developed world, that United States is the only country where a complete stranger can come here, call it a home, raise a family, and reach the pinnacle of their greatest potential. So I'm very thankful to United States. You could not say that about any other country. So I'm very thankful to my Janmabhoomi, India, that gave me education totally free of cost. My entire medical education, I was paying $5 per year for students' union fees. The actual education was free. I even had a scholarship. They were giving me money to go to medical school. So totally free education. I come here and really a very nurturing atmosphere. I never felt, in spite of all these strikes, I made it. If anybody thinks women can't make it, I made it in 50 years. I mean, I'm still here, I still work full time, and I enjoy my work, and I'm in the greatest profession. And I thank all of you for inviting me. Thank you.
April Faris was appointed to the first Court of Appeals by Governor Abbott for a term beginning 2021, and she was elected to a 6-year term in 2022.
Thank you very much for having me here tonight. It is such an honor to be here with you. And tonight, it just seems like the word of the evening is success. It is such an honor to be here with people, brilliant people from the consul's office, with talented doctors, talented lawyers, talented businesswomen, the directors of charities. It is just such an honor to be here with so many talented women. Please, let's give another round of applause for all of these talented women that are here with us tonight. It is a joy to
in the county.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here today. I was asked to talk about empowerment. And so what I did was I actually looked up empowerment. Now, what does that mean? We are among some women here that have accomplished so much, and I'm in awe of their accomplishments. I am especially glad, though, tonight to see some of our young women here, some who are just starting on their journey. And I love the stories that are being told, and I know you're taking it all in. But what is empowerment? It's about being given authority and power to do something. It's becoming stronger and more confident in your journey. And it also means the ability to control one's life and live a more meaningful life. So a little bit about me. I was fortunate because my parents believed in education and supported that. And I do believe that is the basis for the journey that you take, and it just adds so much to your life. Education is essential, and it has supported me throughout my life. I spent 20 years in the field of technology, and I traveled around the world, and I taught people how to use software, and I would walk into a room, and I was usually the only woman. It was a field dominated by men, and this was many years ago, and now I'm so happy to see that that women have made so many strides in technology. I was fortunate enough to marry a man that was raised by a single mother who taught her son that an independent woman who knows how to take care of herself is to be cherished. And I'm raising my son to be the same. And I think although we are celebrating women, we have to remember to raise our sons in that way. Tragically, my husband died, and I was left with 3 small children to raise by myself. So I made the decision to run for the elected position of Fort Bend County Clerk. For any of you connected in the political world, running a campaign is not for the faint of heart, I will tell you. You have to be bold, you have to be tenacious, and you have to keep
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Singers in the world. I would also like to call Aishani, who also happens to be a medical aspirant, to seek blessings and then be part of the celebration.
In the 1940s, it was the time when women were not even allowed to go to school and college. My aunts and grandmother had finished bachelor's degrees in the 1930s and the 1940s. Now, coming from India and being in the US, you realize both are patriarchal societies, male-dominated, and it is tough to raise yourself up competing with people who will subdue you, who will put you down, who will say you are not competent, but you have to fight it. For the young girls here, learn to fight your fight, prove yourself, stand against the odds, and win. That's all I can say.
I'm losing count on the stalwarts of, women stalwarts. Miss Sangeeta Duaji, who is media, she's everything in media in Houston. I would also call upon the Telangana American Telugu Association. Does not, we cannot happen to have without other Telugu organizations.